All right. Just getting a couple shares out here. We're going to dive in. Lots to talk about today, as usual. We'll be diving in just a moment.
You are watching Chaos Crypto News, the crypto news that you need to know.
What's happening, everybody? Chaos Crypto News. A lot of news on the chopping block today. As some of you know, I have been unwell. I got 5 slipped discs in my back, which has caused severe pain and some severe roadblocks in my life here, which is why you haven't seen me doing one of these in the last little bit, but getting better here, and we're back. So let's get started today. We got a bunch of stuff to discuss, a bunch of cool news stories, and man, oh man, what a crazy time to be alive. First, I want to start off by saying this is not financial advice. Always make sure you do your own research and don't trust, verify. First things first, we got a new NFT collection here and a new token launched under the Quantzilla umbrella. This one is called XRP Players Lounge, XR Players Lounge. So the token is XRPT, or also known as XRP Town. Complete with a new and comprehensive Discord with NFT-gated VIP chats for holders of different NFTs under our umbrella, and it will feature many of the great features of Quantzilla, such as token drips, an AMM liquidity pool, and more. Did I mention we hit the #1 spot on XRP Cafe for mint volume? And also, we did a 84,000% run so far, similar to Quantzilla. So you're definitely going to want to check that out, get in on it, and see what it's all about, because big things are happening, folks. Super exciting stuff. A little bit of Quantzilla news for the day. So we have a new partnership. We just launched MemeSafe, which is the first smart AI escrow to give our Quantzilla AI escrow a new life, helping the entire XRPL secure their tokens. You can check it out at memesafe.online. And we are also applying for a Ripple grant to further develop and expand our slew of services that we're offering. The paid to raid weekly payout master list has been updated in our announcement section on our Telegram at www.quantzilla.online. You can find all of our information there. Make sure you jump in our Telegram and check out what we got going on there. Great community. This is one list to rule them all. You can bank your Raider rewards as they don't expire, or you can cash out and start fresh on the next week rollover. Don't forget to also head over to Dex Screener, find Quantzilla and XRPT, and hit that rocket. And once again, if you haven't jumped in, head over to www.quantzilla.online, join our Telegram community, get paid to raid, and also make sure you verify our coin addresses there, because we do have people impersonating us. Finally, check out my YouTube for crypto games content, some scam investigations, XCC and Cardano deep dives, interviews, more news segments, and much more. Find me at KhaosDubz. Links in the description below on YouTube. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow for more. That being said, let's jump right in to today's news. First things first here as we get caught up. This is some news for the Canadians in the house. A secret RCMP report warns Canadians may revolt once they realize how broke they actually are. Right from the get-go, the report authors warn that whatever Canada's current situation, I should say, it will probably deteriorate further in the next 5 years. Canada is in danger, folks. We are struggling. Oh, what is blocking out the article now? That's crazy, yo. Anyway, basically what it's saying is the RCMP is warning the Canadian government that, Canadians are going to realize that we're in dire straits here. Let me see if I can just reload the page and maybe it'll come back up with the article. That's such bullshit. But anyways, I mean, what's happening here is the RCMP is warning the government, you got to stop doing what you're doing because Canadians are going to flip out once they realize what's going on. It's pretty scary times, folks. Canada's a super mess right now. We got everything just is going bad. They're trying to take everybody's guns. We got unabated immigration from all over the place from people that don't like us. There's literally people calling for, implementation of Sharia law and to burn the Canada flag and say death to Canada. And they're calling for killing gay and trans people in the street openly. And Canadian people are saying, yes, we need to defend these people's right to say this kind of stuff and allow more of them to come here and change our way of life and essentially do that kind of crazy radicalist stuff, which is absolutely ridiculous. Sad state we're in. As you can see, the police state here, downtown Ottawa, during COVID there, during the trucker protests, it was like a military operation, essentially, stopping people from having fun and, bouncy castles and barbecues and all this kind of stuff. It was not a violent protest when that happened, yet they made it so. Anyways, let's move on to some more news here today. So as we usually start out with some scams and stuff like that, we're talking about similar to what the $5 wrench attacks are. So a man has lost 750,000 euros in a crypto mugging. The UK has seen more crypto mugging victims lately, with robbers coming for the phones of crypto investors, grabbing them out of the victims' hands. The Independent reported 2 such cases. In the case of Toby Atkinson, which is an alias, a robber snatched his unlocked phone from his hands as he was heading home from after-work drinks. Atkinson started investing in crypto after his mother gave him $100 for his 16th birthday. Now 30 years old, he said he had turned that pocket money into well over $1 million thanks to being an early adopter. He chased the robber down the alley, only to be faced with 2 additional gang members wielding a knife and a machete, a scene straight out of a movie. Over the next 40 minutes, the trio went through Atkinson's apps, forcing him to transfer out the funds, in total over 750 euros, nearly $1 million USD. Furthermore, Atkinson claimed he typically kept his crypto on a cold storage on a USB stick. He took it off to put a deposit down on a house. It's not just a case of money, but everything I hold private that was stored on my phone. I felt physically and emotionally assaulted, he stated. Obviously, you would in that case. Similarly, Sam Kelly, which is another alias, who has invested a 5-figure sum, was ordering an Uber home. Again, a man ran past him and grabbed the unlocked phone out of Kelly's hands. Though he tried following the fast snatcher, he also noticed 2 other men following. Therefore, Kelly hurried home to deactivate his accounts, but there was no money left. I still don't know how they managed to do it so quickly, he said, adding that he had enabled security settings on the accounts and that the thieves possibly used passwords stored elsewhere on the phone. Despite popular opinion, police do have tools to help. As per the report, some 225 phones are stolen in Britain on average each day, but lately, these thieves are after crypto apps. Unlike online bank accounts, which are difficult to enter, crypto apps are like carrying around little lumps of gold. It is so stupidly brittle. These are not reversible transactions. Would you go down to the pub with $10,000 cash in your pocket? Probably not. You need to treat crypto like a big pile of money. Atkinson and Kelly went to the police, but both said they had a bad experience with unhelpful officers. The police, in fact, do have special tools to track the stolen assets as soon as thieves try to cash out. 7 members of a UK gang were sentenced this January to lengthy prison terms for kidnapping, torturing, and extorting a crypto investor, and it's only among the latest of many crypto-related cases that law enforcement has solved. This is the $5 wrench attack, folks, in full force. It's scary stuff. Meanwhile, Kelly filed complaints with the Financial Ombudsman Service and the 2 unnamed companies whose apps he had installed, and the thieves accessed despite the security measures. He managed to get well over half of the funds back, Kelly said. However, because Atkinson made the transactions himself during the crypto mugging, even under threat, he could not file similar complaints. We'll talk a little bit about some ways you can stop this in one of the upcoming articles here. Coinbase users lose $46 million to sophisticated crypto scams. Here's how it happened. Over $46 million was stolen from Coinbase users in March through a wave of sophisticated phishing attacks, according to blockchain investigator Zach XBT. The most severe case involved the theft of 400 Bitcoin, nearly $35 million in a single transaction. Not a ton more to talk about here, but we got some more talking about how to deal with these scams. Crocodilus malware has been draining crypto wallets on Android. Android users beware. A newly discovered piece of malware is targeting smartphone crypto wallets. Uncovered by fraud prevention firm Threat Fabric, the Crocodilus mobile banking Trojan employs tools including remote control, black screen overlays, and advanced data harvesting through accessibility logging to trick crypto holders into handing over their wallet seed phrases. The malware is masquerading as crypto-related apps and involves specific social engineering techniques to make victims reveal the secrets stored inside crypto wallet applications. Crucially, this threat tricks Android users into providing the seed phrase for their wallets, and it does this by issuing a warning that asks users to back up their key to avoid losing access. Threat Fabric said Crocodilus is being distributed through a proprietary dropper that bypasses security protections on Android 13 or later. Once this dropper installs the malware without triggering Play Protect, it requests accessibility service permissions. That allows it to bypass the accessibility service restrictions, enabling it to deploy a screen overlay to gain passwords. Crocodilus also works as a remote access Trojan, meaning operators can navigate the user interface, swipe using gesture control, and even take screenshots. According to Threat Fabric, this allows the malware operator to use Google Authenticator to access two-factor authentication passcodes. The malware does all this discreetly by using a black screen overlay so the phone owner can't actually see what actions are being carried out remotely. At time of publishing, it appears that only users in Spain and Turkey have been affected by Crocodilus. According to Threat Fabric, users are tricked into downloading the droppers through malicious sites, social media, fake promotions, text messages, and third-party app stores. Android users can mitigate against the risk by only using the Google Play Store to download apps and not downloading APKs from other sites. Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. Oh look, more scams, folks. Scammers hit iPhone and Android users, drain bank accounts in astronomical attack targeting American smartphones. The FBI says more than 2,000 complaints have been filed at the Internet Crime Complaint Center in the last year, reporting fake texts about unpaid highway tolls. These smishing attacks, combining SMS and phishing, trick users into clicking links that mimic state toll services. The message urged immediate payment to avoid fees using statements like, "We've noticed an outstanding toll amount of $12.51 on your record." The goal is to convince users to hand over their debit and credit card information, and victims who click the link risk losing both their money and personal data. Cybercrime expert Michael Skiba tells CNBC he believes that actual scale of the attack is astronomical, with current reporting from victims representing a small slice of those who are truly affected. Holy crap, folks. Moving on to some more. $5 wrench tax. Cryptocurrency millionaires targeted in home invasions. No matter how good your blockchain security is, folks, the $5 wrench attack is the weak link. And if you're not careful, if you're super open about what you're doing to everybody and you trust people easily, then you are at risk. A recent case involving influencer Amaranth and her husband, who were victims of a violent home invasion, has reignited concerns over the safety of a high net worth crypto holders. The perpetrators allegedly sought access to the crypto assets, underscoring the growing trend of criminals targeting individuals rather than attempting to breach blockchain security itself. Growing security concerns in the crypto space, while according to data from blockchain analytics firms, incidents of crypto-related home invasions and kidnappings have increased in recent years. Notable cases include the 2022 kidnapping of a British crypto trader in Hong Kong and multiple reports of crypto muggings in major cities, where victims were forced at gunpoint, or knife point in some cases, to transfer digital assets to attackers' wallets. Criminals are becoming more sophisticated in their methods, ranging from phishing scams to physical threats. Investors must recognize the importance of personal security measures to safeguard their wealth. Expert advice on securing your crypto wealth, while security experts and financial advisors recommend the following strategies for crypto investors. Use cold storage solutions. Use multi-signature wallets. Utilizing wallets that require multiple authorizations for transactions can prevent forced transfers under duress. Practice good OPSEC. Avoid publicly sharing information about crypto holdings and transactions. Using pseudonyms and maintaining a low profile can reduce the risk of being targeted. Physical security enhancements. Installing high security locks, surveillance systems, and panic buttons can help deter home invasions. And legal safeguards. Consider setting up legal structures such as trusts or multi-signatory accounts that prevent unauthorized transactions under duress. All valid, all good ideas, folks. Now, we talked a little bit about crypto ATMs in one of the last episodes, but Australia targets crypto ATM providers in money laundering crackdowns. Australian financial regulators have launched a crackdown on crypto ATM providers amid concerns about inadequate anti-money laundering controls. The Australian Transaction Report and Analysis Centre has launched a specialized task force to address potential compliance issues in the growing sector. The task force has been busy engaging with businesses to understand the risks in their sector and assesses their compliance with the law. Australia has been at the forefront of crypto ATM rollouts in the Asia-Pacific region. The nation has experienced a massive expansion in the sector, with the number of machines increasing from only 23 in 2019 to 60 in 2022. And to the present date, there are about 1,600 crypto ATMs in operation in Australia. So it's been a huge explosion over the last 3 years. The overwhelming majority of transactions made using these ATMs are cash deposits to buy Bitcoin. The cash to crypto pipeline has raised specific concerns for regulators because it is hard to track the source of physical currency once it's in the crypto system. We want to ensure crypto ATM providers have robust practices to minimize the risk that their machines can be used to launder dirty money or to scam and defraud innocent people. Two-edged sword. It's good in the fact that they're stopping money laundering and helping protect people from getting scammed, but at the same time, it's bad because it's going to add more regulation and less ways to be anonymous. How to spot crypto deepfakes. Now, I'm sure you all have seen some videos like this popping up on YouTube. Doctored videos are often used to flog bogus crypto investment schemes, but they can also be weaponized for misinformation. A comically bad example of this came in recent days after Fox News host Laura Ingraham interviewed Donald Trump at the White House. It appeared to show the president pulling back curtains to proudly display a framed copy of Bitcoin's white paper within the Oval Office. The clip was accompanied by an amateurish graphic that screamed, "Trump shows Laura the Bitcoin white paper," as if to insinuate that the footage had actually been broadcast on television. To be honest, it's difficult to understand what the motivation for this particular deepfake was. There doesn't seem to have been any financial motive. It might have even been intended as satire. Yet, posts like this underline a serious point. Crypto enthusiasts need to be more vigilant than ever before and question the posts they see online. So let's take a quick look at some top tips for spotting deepfakes. This is a video here. You can watch it if you go to Parachutes BTC on X. Blatantly false. OP was a joke. There's about a dozen large influential Bitcoin accounts on here that legit posted this thinking it was real. It's pretty hilarious that people are falling for this, folks. But here's some ways to spot it. So look closely at the face. While AI models can produce some pretty convincing videos, they aren't perfect. One of their weak spots is perfectly emulating human expressions. Experts at MIT say that when you're looking at footage of a person, scrutinize their cheeks and forehead to see whether they're too smooth or too wrinkly. Pay attention to whether they're blinking too much or too little, and focus on the lips too, as unnatural movement can indicate words are being put in their mouth. If you look here, you don't even need to play this video to see there's something kind of going on there with the face here. It just doesn't quite look right. What are they saying in the clips? Well, this next tip links nicely to the red flags that indicate a crypto scam more generally. If you come across a video of Elon Musk or Michael Saylor, for example, and they appear to be endorsing an investment opportunity, ask yourself this: would they really appear in a clip making too good to be true promises? This has been ongoing for many years, folks. The average American comes across almost 3 deepfake videos a day. To make matters worse, there's a growing trend of hackers overtaking the X accounts of celebrities to shill tokens. Also, don't forget to examine the source. Typically speaking, a significant video from a notable crypto figure will have attracted coverage from a site like Crypto News. Check out whether journalists have been able to verify whether the footage is real. A lack of articles backing up the clip's content will indicate that it is indeed bogus. Check the comments, as users will often call out when AI has been used for malicious purposes. Take extra care with audio. While deepfake videos offer certain visual clues that indicate something's amiss, detecting manipulated audio can be pretty difficult. Do they sound flatter, less emotive, and less controversial or conversational than they usually would? AI-generated audio often removes breathing noises in between sentences, which sounds incredibly unnatural. There might also be no background noise whatsoever, or maybe too much. It's crucial to raise awareness about the warning signs surrounding deepfakes. One man who saw a manipulated video of a British celebrity ended up losing $35,000 after being tricked into putting his savings into a bogus crypto exchange. Now, that being said, some of this ties in, specifically, examine the source here. If you can't find other information about what people are talking about, then something's probably bogus. You know what I'm going for here, folks? Boom, Pi token, it's a scam. Been telling you this for a while. Well, there's more people day by day saying this, and the charts are proving it. Pi Network hits a monthly low, and it's almost at an all-time low. Is Pi coin going to zero? Pi Network has tumbled by 11.5% today. Pi Network is now down by 20% in a week. 27%, I should say, in a week, and a hefty 69% in a month. This raises the alarming possibility that the alt has already begun a terminal decline, from which it may not recover, unless it attracts some big exchange listings soon. Pi Network hits monthly low. Is PiCoin going to zero? Well, Pi Network's chart makes for some grim reading, with its indicators continuing to languish at rock bottom. In a normal market, in normal conditions, a fundamentally sound asset would eventually bounce back with indicators such as these. Yet serious question marks still hang over Pi Network, which has failed to attract any new major exchange listings since its mainnet went live last month. And what's particularly worrying is that exchanges such as Binance, Coinbase, and Kraken may be staying away because of concerns over claims that Pi Network is a large-scale pyramid scheme, which it is. It's a data harvesting scam. Pi Network spent several years without a live mainnet, with users mining the token via their smartphones. It took 6 years for Harvard graduates to launch a coin when, people are launching coins like in 15 minutes. It just doesn't make any sense, right? Like, this is such bullshit. Existing users, known as pioneers, are encouraged to recruit new users and so on, replicating the dynamics of a classic pyramid scheme. There's also the problem that Pi Network price still has monthly token unlocks to contend with April alone witnessing the unlocking of 123 million Pi. And with the coin yet having little in the way of utility, it's hard to argue that it will enjoy a sustained recovery in the near future, especially with the wider market conditions remaining unfavorable. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did you give your KYC information to Pi? Do you think it's a valid project, or do you think it might just be a data harvesting scam like many of us are saying? Binance Coin BNB flips Solana as meme coin momentum shifts. Not a whole lot to talk about here other than that main point, but BNB price has overtaken Solana in the crypto market cap, becoming the 5th largest cryptocurrency. Solana's a dirty rug platform, folks. XRPL is where you want to be at. Speaking of XRPL, well, XRP glitched to $21,000 on live TV. Again, this isn't even the first time shit like this has happened. Not to $2.10, not to $21, but over $21,000. XRP's true price is being revealed. This isn't the first time. XRP has glitched more than any other digital asset. But why? Because systems have to be tested. And guess what? It's always XRP. When entering the golden age, and the truth is, glitches reveal blueprints. He said it best. Name another asset that glitches like this. Think bigger. Something's coming. Know what you hold. We're going to get into a little bit more XRP news here that's going to try to shake people out. But I'm telling you, this is just people spitting out FUD. If you know what you hold, then you know where XRP is headed. XRP bulls are in denial as price trend mirrors previous 75 to 90% crashes. Let me know what you think in the comments, if you believe this is true or if we're heading for a proper blow-off-top bull run here. And it's a utility bull run this time. XRP has lost more than 40% since hitting a multi-year high near $3.40 in January, and on-chain data suggests the downtrend could deepen in the weeks ahead. XRP's net Unrealized profit loss data from Glassnode suggests the token may be heading for another extended downturn. The metric which gauges the aggregate unrealized gains or losses of XRP holders has historically served as a reliable barometer of potential trend reversals. In past market cycles, NUPL has peaked in the so-called euphoria zone just before major price tops. In 2018, XRP soared above $3 as NUPL signaled extreme optimism, only to collapse 90% to below 30 cents as sentiment deteriorated through denial and into capitulation. A similar pattern played out in 2021 when XRP hit $1.96 before sliding 75% to 50 cents amid a sharp shift from euphoria to fear. As of March 2025, XRP's NUPL has once again entered the denial zone, with the price trading around $2.50 following a strong rally. If the pattern holds, XRP could face further downsides akin to the bear markets in 2018 and 2021. XRP's weekly chart suggests a bearish fractal from 2021 may be unfolding again. In both 2021 and 2025, the XRP price formed a local top while the RSI printed a lower high, signaling bearish divergence and weakening upside momentum. Back in 2021, that divergence preceded an 85.5% sell-off that broke below the 50-week, the red wave, and the 200-week, the blue wave, exponential moving averages, EMA. In 2025, XRP has again shown a similar RSI divergence, followed by a 40% plus decline from its recent highs. If the correction deepens and breaks below the 50-week EMA support, history suggests XRP could slide further towards a 200-week EMA around 87 cents, or about 60% from the current price levels. I'll tell you what's going to happen for myself if XRP starts dropping to $1.58 or 87 cents. I'm going to be loading up like no other. Now, Finbold talks about how Trump is killing XRP. Despite the highly bullish expectations and the initial reaction that sparked a 549% rally, XRP's performance in 25 has been lackluster. The token is negative 1.5% down year to date and $2.10, 36.56% below its 331 January 17th highs. Did XRP lose its appeal as the SEC dropped the Ripple lawsuit? Well, still, whether intentional or not, the effects are difficult to miss. Not only in XRP's market for performance, but also the lack of positive reaction to long-awaited developments such as the news that the SEC is dropping its long-standing lawsuit against Ripple Labs. Judging by XRP's recent performance, it appears increasingly likely that the token is rapidly losing its cultural significance. Specifically, it was far more reactive to positive developments while serving as a symbol of the digital assets industry resistance to what many saw as regulatory overreach. Why the XRP ETF could be a crypto market dud. Other expected bullish factors also appear increasingly dubious at the end of Q1. The approval of America's first ever spot Bitcoin ETF in early 2024 sparked hopes that many other digital assets would follow. In July 2024, F's ETF followed, but similar products widely expected to involve Solana and XRP are yet to come. At face value, the March 24th announcement about the partnership between Trump Media and Crypto.com to issue crypto exchange-traded products is bullish for digital assets, but could simultaneously indicate that their approval will be far less impactful than originally hoped. Specifically, the partnership implies that spot ETFs are set to become relatively commonplace, likely limiting the impact of any individual new product. Even if the expected spot XRP fund retains some exclusivity, F's performance after the approval is a stark warning that it may not be a bullish catalyst. Between the arrival of the first spot Ethereum ETFs in July 2024 and the press time on March 31st, the token plunged 47.5% from $3,400 to about $1,800. But the 2025 XRP bull case still remains. See, a lot of this is just people trying to shake people out. Similarly, despite the situation being generally bearish for XRP and the argument that crypto has, at least in the current cycle, reached its potential, there is no shortage of optimists and the bull case has not been entirely invalidated. As Finbold reported on March 30th, the short-term bearish outlook has not erased the greater pattern forming for the crypto that indicates XRP might perform similarly to how it did in the 2021 rally and climb 209% to 650 by October 2025. There's actually many people saying that this rally is more mirroring the 2017 rally, which was Crazy, crazy, crazy compared to the 2021 rally. Moving on for some more XRP news. XRP news today, 40 million withdrawal, Peter Brandt's $1 price prediction, and ETF hopes. The Ripple community is buzzing with mixed emotions as XRP faces both legal progress and market challenges. Ripple's long-standing battle with the SEC is nearing its final stages, with a resolution expected within the next 60 days. This legal milestone has reignited hopes for an XRP ETF approval, boosting market confidence. However, the price narrative tells a different story. Since January 2025, XRP has fallen by 35%, marking one of the sharpest declines among major cryptos. Despite occupying the U.S. strategic reserve alongside Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and Solana, XRP's performance has indeed been underwhelming. Market sentiment has shifted dramatically. A bet placed on Polymarket reveals that the chances of XRP hitting a new all-time high before July have plummeted from nearly 90% following Donald Trump's inauguration to a mere 4%. This marks the lowest confidence level ever recorded for XRP's price growth in the first half of 2025. Adding to turbulence, Whale Alert detected a big transaction involving 40 million XRP valued at around $83.5 million. The funds were withdrawn from BitHub, South Korea's second largest crypto exchange, and sent to an anonymous wallet. Renowned trader and market analyst Peter Brandt has weighed in with a bearish outlook for XRP. Brandt compared XRP's current speculative value to that of Beanie Babies and Pet Rock, suggesting it holds little intrinsic worth. This guy sounds like a fucking moron. He tweeted, "Your favorite Beanie Babies Pet Rock crypto display is a classic complex H&S Head & Shoulders top. This could become bullish if $3 is exceeded. Otherwise, expect a decline to about $1.07. Shaking people out, folks. Shaking people out. Know what you hold. Now, here is a little bit more reasonable news if you ask what I'm saying. XRP's price chart flashes inverse head and shoulders, which we were just talking about at the end of the last article there, pattern that could trigger a rally to $3.90. Crypto analyst Egreg Crypto took to social media platform X to highlight what he called a most probably inverse head and shoulders pattern currently unfolding on XRP's daily time frame. The pattern, which has been developing since early March, is now in the final stages of forming the second shoulder, such as this phase might still see further short-term downside as XRP potentially dips again to complete the structure of the second shoulder before a breakout rally. If confirmed, the inverse head and shoulders would lead to a strong bullish reversal, which is going to be significant given XRP's recent price retracement. According to Egreg, the measured move from the completion of this formation could send the price to a price range between 370 and 390. Analysts say that XRP could reach an all-time high in 90 to 120 days. He pointed out during the 2017 and 2021 cycles, the RSI indicator on XRP exhibited two distinct peaks, with the second peak coming between 90 and 120 days after the first peak. Second RSI peak in 2017 occurred about 120 days after the first peak. A similar scenario occurred in 2021. Although the interval between the first and second RSI highs was shorter at just 90 days, this trend sets the stage for a historic surge that could align with the breakout from the current inverse head and shoulder setup. So far in this cycle, XRP has already completed its first RSI peak, reaching as high as 85.17 towards the end of 2024. Following that, the RSI has been on a long cooldown phase, dipping to a low of 65. At the time of writing, the RSI sits around 66, and a bounce is expected from here, which is to peak sometime around June. And this is what a lot of people are talking about. We're going to get our second big run around May, June, then it's going to cool off for part of the summer, and then it's going to explode again for a final third wave around, October-ish. But this is all based on technical analysis and fundamentals. None of that actually matters once you start talking about utility, right? Utility bull run means all bets are off for all this other stuff. Be prepared, folks. The future looks bright. Solana meme coin spikes as Elon Musk hints at a Vine revival. The world's richest man, Elon Musk, appears to have greenlit the revival of old-school video app Vine after an XAI employee announced that the company has acquired the defunct mobile app. In response, the Pump.Fun launched a Vine coin, Vine, created by the app's co-founder, has spiked 122% over the past 3 days. Musk's love affair with Vine started back in January when he said he was looking into bringing back the popular app amid concerns that TikTok would be banned in the US. On Friday, Dane Jacobson, an employee of XAI, the artificial intelligence arm of Musk's X, said on X that the company now owns Vine. He asked his followers what should be done with the app. Musk responded, "Feel free to take that on," with many taking this as the billionaire greenlighting the revival. Let me know what you think, if Vine's going to make a comeback or if it's just going to be a flop. Logan Paul's CryptoZoo lawsuit against YouTuber CoffeeZilla moves forward. Logan Paul's lawsuit against YouTuber CoffeeZilla is moving forward after a U.S. magistrate judge denied the crypto sleuth's request to dismiss Paul's claims with prejudice. Counsel for CoffeeZilla filed a motion to dismiss the claims in February on behalf of Findlson, who's CoffeeZilla, and Coffee Break Productions, claiming that he alleged libelous statements were not capable of defaming Paul. Texas Magistrate Judge Henry J. Bemporad disagreed, noting that Findlson's use of the word scam met the defamatory definition, while adding that his role as a crypto investigator would lead an objectively reasonable reader to understand his statements as an assertion of fact. The saga between Paul and CoffeeZilla extends back to early 2023 when the influencer threatened to sue the sleuth for alleged libelous remarks made during his investigation of CryptoZoo, the NFT project and the game that Paul was connected to. Findlson has published 7 videos about Paul and CryptoZoo on YouTube, at least 3 of which are specifically mentioned in the latest filing by Judge Bemporad. In those videos, Findlson alleges that Paul's game, which never fully materialized, was a scam, going so far as to include the word scam in 4 of the video titles, the largest of which has more than 10 million views on YouTube. Findlson, who's CoffeeZilla, is not the only party embroiled in years-long legal battles surrounding CryptoZoo, though. A class action lawsuit was filed in 2023, with investors alleging the project conducted a rug pull. Prior to that class action, Paul said that he had set aside $1.8 million to refund those that had participated with CryptoZoo. A year later, he opened an unsecure website to accept claims for up to $2.3 million in refunds. Those who submitted a claim waived their right to sue Paul over CryptoZoo in the future. What a mess. What a mess. Few more articles here for today. The FDIC has axed previous rules giving green light to banks to conduct crypto-related activities without prior approval. The U.S. FDIC has just given its member banks the green light to conduct crypto-related activities without prior approval. The FDIC said its member institutions can conduct crypto activities as long as they adequately manage the associated risks. I expect this to be one of several steps the FDIC will take to lay out a new approach for how banks can engage in crypto and blockchain-related activities in accordance with safety and soundness standards. Pretty cool stuff. This is something that Trump was signing into an executive order, I believe, one of his first days in office, that is going to allow more freedom for banks to start operating with crypto. Super exciting stuff. And there's also been, what are they called, non-disclosure agreements that banks and employees at banks have had to sign. And also, they can't buy XRP as part of that agreement. So, interesting stuff there. We might talk a little bit more about that why soon here in an interview coming up that I'm going to do with one of our community members. We've been talking about this for a while. It's just we haven't been able to make it happen due to a lot of scheduling issues and whatnot. If you know BitBoy, you may have been following some of the mess that has been happening in his life over the last few years. Well, some BitBoy news has emerged again. Crypto influencer Ben Armstrong has been arrested after a confrontation. Ben Armstrong, known as BitBoy, was arrested on September 25th following a confrontation with employees at a Popeyes restaurant. This arrest further compounds his legal issues following a previous incident involving a business partner. Well, this is just the beginning of a mess that he's created here because he's been arrested in Florida. What happened? Well, there's been 2 more arrests, actually. So, crypto influencer BitBoy Armstrong was arrested in Florida as a fugitive stemming from controversial emails sent to a Georgia judge. Why was he arrested? Well, he revealed on March 21st his legal trouble came from emails he sent to a Cobb County, Georgia Superior Court judge, Kimberly Childs. Representing himself in an ongoing case, he claimed his emails were so impactful that the judge deleted his social media accounts. While the exact contents of these emails remain unclear, they were serious enough to lead to a warrant for his arrest. This isn't Ben's first run-in with the law, though. In September 2023, he was arrested while live streaming outside the home of a former business associate. He accused the individual of stealing his Lamborghini and tried to confront them on camera, which led to his detainment. With multiple legal issues over time, Armstrong's reputation continues to suffer. The crypto community has mixed reactions to Armstrong's arrest. Analyst Nick Demondi made light of the situation, joking that this could be a sign of the long-awaited crypto bull run. Some believe that removing controversial figures like BitBoy could improve market sentiment, especially as Bitcoin remains strong. Crypto expert Guru took a different approach, calling this a wake-up call for the industry. He emphasized that crypto should be about more than just hype and fast profits. With regulators cracking down on bad actors, he urged the community to focus on long-term innovation and responsible growth. Another crypto analyst, CR1337, did not hold back, stating that Armstrong's downfall was inevitable. He accused BitBoy of promoting shady investment schemes, accepting payments to promote questionable projects, and lashing out at critics who called him out. In his view, Armstrong's legal and financial troubles are simply the result of his own actions catching up with him. Absolutely true. BitBoy was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, crypto channel for a little while, and he really had it all going for him. And you know, everything happened. He decided to make some moves that maybe weren't the best, and such as one of those moves was actually going to the Bahamas to kind of hunt down Sam Bankman-Fried when the FTX collapse was happening. He was standing outside his hotel, causing a bunch of problems there, just really, you know, making a lot of noise. And from there, he just couldn't stop self-sabotaging, honestly, and that was his downfall. And it's kind of crazy to see him go from such a position to now essentially being a nobody and constantly being in the news for the whole opposite of what he used to be. He's not a good influencer. He's not a good role model, folks. Let me know what you think in the comments about BitBoy and his downfall. Final article for today: quantum teleportation achieved over internet for the first time. Pretty interesting stuff here. You know, we're always talking about quantum computing and how it can hack crypto wallets and stuff. Well, this is just another step in the direction of AI and the future of our civilization and really what life is all about. A quantum state of light was successfully teleported through more than 30 kilometers of fiber optic cable amid a torrent of internet traffic, a feat of engineering once considered impossible. This is incredibly exciting because nobody thought it was possible, says Prem Kumar, a Northwestern University computing engineer who led the study. Our work shows a path towards next-generation quantum and classical networks sharing a unified fiber optic infrastructure. Basically, it opens the door to pushing quantum communications to the next level. Bearing a passing resemblance to Star Trek transport systems that ghost passengers across time and space in the blink of an eye, teleportation takes the quantum possibilities of an object in one location, and by carefully destroying it, forces the same balance of possibilities onto a similar object in another location. Though acts of measuring the two objects seal their fates in the same instant, the process of entangling their quantum identity still requires sending a single wave of information between points in space. To preserve their lonely photon's precious state against a 400 gigabit per second current of internet traffic, the team of researchers applied a variety of techniques that restricted the photon's channel and reduced the chances it might scatter and mix with other waves. We found we could perform quantum communications without interference from the classical channels that are simultaneously present. While other research groups have successfully transmitted quantum information alongside classical data streams in simulations of the internet, Kumar's team said it is the first to teleport a quantum state alongside an actual internet stream. Each test further suggests the quantum internet is inevitable, giving computing engineers a whole new toolkit for measuring, monitoring, encrypting, and calculating our world like never before, without needing to reinvent the internet to do it. But many people have long assumed that nobody would build specialized infrastructure to send particles of light. If we choose the wavelengths properly, we don't have to build new infrastructure because classical communications and quantum communications can indeed coexist. That being said, that pretty much brings us to the end of today's article. Although I do want to point out here, real quick, check out Deck Screener. This is XRPT. This is another project under the Quantzilla umbrella. And we've been doing some crazy numbers here, folks. We got up 4.5% on the 24-hour. We got crazy good volume happening here. And if we head over to Magnetic here for XRPT, we'll show a little bit of a wider perspective on the overview. What's going on here? We're up 86,000% on the 3-month, 22,000% on the 1 month, which is like 200%, or sorry, 200x gains. 7 days, we're up 28%, and on the 24-hour, we're staying pretty stable. Pretty cool stuff there. Market cap of 265,000, pretty wild stuff. Head back over to Deck Screener here, have a little look at Quantzilla. Quantzilla is also doing super well. We got crazy trading volume. We're up 10% on the 24-hour. And if we head back over to Magnetic here and check out Quantzilla, we'll have a little peek here. On the 3-month, we're up 600% again, folks. We're doing another crazy parabolic run. 7 days, we're up 122%, and again, 10% on the 24 hours. So we got good strength there, and some exciting stuff is in the works. So if you're not following Quantzilla, make sure you head over to our Telegram. You can find all the information you need to set trust lines and whatnot. www.quantzilla.online. That's going to give you access to all of our contract addresses, as well as all of the things you need to engage with our community and learn about us, join us, see what it's all about. We're building, we're absolutely innovating, and we're really making some shit happen here. It's super exciting stuff. And we got partnerships happening left and right. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, we're partnering with some new people. We're creating new, what do I want to call them? Tools, I guess, utilities to use in the ecosystem, XRPL and beyond. And we're just really excited to be a part of everything. We're also going to be doing an airdrop to holders of XOJ tokens. So if you're not holding XOJ, make sure you start buying up your XOJ, because you're going to get some Quantzilla. So super exciting stuff there. I think that's about all we have to talk about today. I am in better health now over the last few days here. Things have been improving. So I'm going to be getting more regular with the news videos again, and more regular with the updates. We're always working behind the scenes, folks. So don't worry if you don't hear anything from us. Our team is super small, but we try to be as active as possible in the chats. But we're always going to be there. So feel free to ask questions, reach out, and we'll get to you. Jump in, get paid to raid, folks. What else can I tell you? Get some NFTs. Jump back here real quick and have a quick peek at this. Where are we at here? Oh boy. Here we are. Check this out, folks. If you didn't catch the beginning of the episode, we got a whole new NFT collection we just launched under the Quantzilla umbrella. You can mint XRP, you can mint NFTs, I should say, for XRPT, XR Players Lounge, for 10 XRP right now. Here's what they look like. There's some pretty cool ones. There's some rare ones that are happening. And if you don't know a whole lot about this, it's kind of similar to Quantzilla. We have daily drips for NFT holders through Tipper, which is pretty sweet. And we're also doing a wicked solid AMM liquidity pool, plus some other great features, folks. So definitely check out what we got. You can find access to this through our Quantzilla at www.quantzilla.online. But for me, that's about it today. I hope you all have yourselves a great day. Don't get scammed. Always do your own research. Don't trust, verify. And again, none of this is financial advice, but definitely something to look into, folks. Jump onto the XRPL and change your life. Have a fantastic day. We'll catch you on the flip side. Bless and love. Bless and love.